I'm Kay, and I am back with day 6 of 31 days of cut file fun, and this is the cut file that I will be playing with today from Just Nick. I also have a pocket card from Stampin' Up! Back in the day. I have a few photos. Now, everything here is pretty much already done because I did this portion at a retreat, and now I just need to finish it. So I've got a title already picked out from a set of thickers called Old School. And then I went through my label stash and just picked out some random labels that I think will match. Some are Vicki Boutin, some are uber old, close to my heart. And then I'm not sure where these tiny words came from, but they came in black and white, and then the alphas are gold or silver, so I just don't know. And then I have this other packet from Vicki Boutin as well that is a brand new one, and then I had some used up sheets. Oh, here's the thicker set that I used for my title. It's Thickers Old School, which I also think was a Heidi Swap. Made for a Heidi Swap collection. I have this background that I already created at the retreat as well, and I'm going to add black distress soot, black soot in distress ink. Wow. And I'm going to go really, really dark in the center of my cut file and fade out to like a gray on the outside. I don't want it to be solid black. I want it to stick out almost like like a metallic art piece, something like that. So what the pictures are of is, excuse me, they're pictures of these rocks that we found on our walk in 2020, back in July, just to, it was just one of those things that somebody wanted to do because we were trying to think of things that we couldn't do since we couldn't socialize. And I've already created several layouts because we found lots of rocks. And so I have about 6 layouts, small, medium, and large layouts. They're not all 12 by 12 of these rocks. And so it kind of became difficult to try and think of different things to do because it's honestly pictures of rocks. Truth be told. And so when I went back through all of the other layouts that I've done, it was a mixed media background, loads of labels, and then a silver title of some sort. And so I wanted to stick with that same theme. And this background was already created and already done for me. And so I thought, you know what, I'm just going to go ahead and use it. I already have my photos photo matted. I already had this card ripped and put in the envelope or in the page protector. And so that's why this layout comes together so fast, because all I had to do was put it together and add elements that make, that make it appealing, make it eye appeasing. I don't really want to say make it make sense, but what I did for my rocks is I split them all up into, I don't want to say categories, but into similarities. And this one here is all plant life except for the one off to the right. It is a plant, but it's a watermelon. And so it doesn't really make sense with the flowers and the palm trees and the rose that I had picked out. But in my brain, it makes sense because it's a plant. Watermelons come from a vine. And so it just made me laugh and giggle and whatnot. So I'm going to go through and put some tiny words. Like I said, I put this one here that says this made me laugh because it did. Adding the watermelon there. And it was also kind of fun too, because the people were probably still out there because we walked around once and my kids didn't notice the rocks until the very end of our walk. And so then we went back through again and started walking again. We went home, got some water, and then our camera, of course, and started walking the walk again and noticed a ton of rocks. But then by the time we got to the rocks that we noticed at first, they were either moved or there were more rocks added around them. And so I thought that was pretty cool, that the people were still there, setting up the rocks and doing whatever. This was on the 4th of July. or no, it was on 4th of July weekend. It was actually the 2nd of July when the marina was riddled with rocks. But it was just so fun checking all this stuff out. So lastly, I'm going to add a little bit of splatter into my black cut file, so that way it does do that little distressed wicking thing that it usually does. And then I'm going to add some white splatters using my Dina Wakley white acrylic spray. Again, it's just because it's what's on my desk, but that is going to be the gist of my layout, you guys. It was all pretty much done for me previously at a retreat, and so that's what made it look come together smoothly. But I also have to tell you guys that I went back through and looked at all of my other layouts to see, how to make it the same, but yet not the same. So what elements can I bring in that make this look the same? And that is it for today. Simple and easy. I just used the cut file for my large title element, which is what I love to do with cut files. I definitely didn't want it to look like a spider web, but I wanted it to look like, one of those metal art pieces is what I was going for, but it looks like a spider web. All right. Be sure to check out Khristina, who is going live every day with these cut files over on her Facebook group. If you don't catch her on a live, check out the 31 Days of Cut File Facebook group. That is where I am trying to corral all things 31 days, so that way it's easier to find everything all in one spot. So again, thank you for hanging out with me today.